Greetings everybody, and welcome to another Game of Thrones episode review. So today we're looking at the third episode of Season 2, What is Dead May Never Die. So, here we go. Beginning at King's Landing, Tyrion tries to hide Shae in the kitchens as a scullery maid, but she refuses. Cersei eats dinner with Sansa, Myrcella Baratheon, and Tommen Baratheon, where they discuss the war and Sansa's betrothal to King Joffrey Baratheon. Afterwards, Sansa is greeted by Shae, who is posing as her new handmaiden. Later, Tyrion tells Grand Maester Pycelle of his plans to forge an alliance with House Martell by bringing Myrcella to Doran Martell's youngest son, Trystane. Soon after, he has the same discussion with Lord Varys. However, in this version, he plans to marry Myrcella to Theon Greyjoy. Finally, he has the same discussion once more with Lord Petyr Baelish, this time having Myrcella marry Robin Arryn. In all three cases, Tyrion makes him swear to keep the discussion a secret, especially from the Queen. Cersei later confronts Tyrion about sending Myrcella to the Martells, confirming that Pycelle is Cersei's spy. Tyrion has him arrested and sent to the dungeons, but not before Pycelle confesses that he told Cersei that Jon Arryn knew of her incest with Jaime. When Baelish realizes he has been fooled, he angrily confronts Tyrion, who was nevertheless able to convince him to meet Catelyn Stark in the Stormlands and convince her to release Jaime. Yeah, I highly doubt that's ever going to happen. Anyway, beyond the wall, Craster returns with Jon Snow and orders the Night's Watch off his lands. Lord Commander Jorah Mormont admits to Jon that he already knew of Craster's sacrificial offering of his sons, but argues that Craster is an indispensable part of the Night's Watch campaign beyond the wall. Meanwhile, Samwell Tarly promises to Gilly that he will come back for her when the Night's Watch returns to the wall. Anyway, at Winterfell, Bran Stark has another dream in which he is his direwolf, Summer. When he asks Maester Luwin about the dreams, Luwin replies that while he studied magic as a boy, he believes that magic is no longer real, the dragons are dead, and dreams don't always come true. Yeah, but the whole dragons are dead thing, that's not really true, Buckaroo, but you're not going to live around to see them. Anyway, in the Stormlands, self-crowned King Renly Baratheon and his newly wedded wife Margaery Tyrell watch a tournament in which Margaery's brother Loras, the Knight of Flowers, battles with the imposing female warrior Brienne of Tarth. Catelyn arrives in time to see Brienne win. Brienne requests a place in Renly's Kingsguard, and Renly immediately agrees, to Loras' annoyance. Renly is confident his army of 100,000 can beat the Lannisters, but Catelyn reminds him his men are still underexperienced. Later, Loras refuses to have sex with Renly until he consummates his marriage with Margaery. When Renly is unable, Margaery reveals that she is fully aware of her husband's relationship with her brother, but insists that they keep trying in order to get her pregnant and secure the alliance between the Baratheons and the Tyrells. And of course, when you get married in this show, it's all about political alliances. Political. Anyway, on the Iron Islands, Balon Greyjoy plans his war in the north with Yara and Theon. Theon protests in favor of an alliance with the Starks, but Balon refuses and reminds him that Greyjoys do not sow. Yara tells Theon he must now choose where his loyalties lie, with his adopted family, the Starks, or his real family, the Greyjoys. A conflicted Theon writes a letter to Robb Stark warning him of Balon's plans to attack the north, but burns it, deciding to instead serve under his father. Seriously, Theon, what the hell are you thinking? As a sign of his newfound loyalty, he undergoes a ritual baptism in the name of the Iron Islands' primary deity, the Drowned God. Oh boy. And finally, in the Riverlands, Yoren tells Arya Stark the story of how he became a member of the Night's Watch. Soon, they are startled by a nearby war horn. Lannister men led by Sir Army Lorch arrive and demand Yoren hand over Gendry. When Yoren refuses, a battle ensues, resulting in the deaths of the Night's Watch men. During the skirmish, Arya helps the prisoner Jaqen H'ghar free himself and the other two captives in the cage before they can be burned alive, and loses her sword needle to a Lannister soldier, Polliver. Lorch orders the survivors taken to Harrenhal, but when wounded Lamy Greenhand says he cannot walk, he is killed by Polliver. Lorch demands the survivors pin Gendry, but before he can give himself up, Arya tells him that Lamy was Gendry. Ooh, smart girl. Actually, I mean to say, clever girl. Well, anyway, let's look at the production of this episode, beginning with the writing. What Is Dead May Never Die was written by the story editor Brian Cogman, based on George R. R. Martin's original book, A Clash of Kings. Cogman, who was responsible for keeping the show's Bible and had already written the first season's 4th episode, was on set for the filming of all the scenes of his episode. The chapters of the book included the episode of Arya 4, Tyrion 4, Arya 5, Catelyn 2, Tyrion 6, Bran 4, chapters 15, 18, 20, 23, 26, and 29, and also the parts of Tyrion 1, Tyrion 2, Tyrion 5, Jon 3, and Theon 2 that had not been included in the previous episode, chapters 4, 9, 21, 24, and 25. The scenes set in the Iron Islands were created specifically for the show, as the books jumped directly from Balon's revelation that he intends to attack the North to Theon overseeing the preparations of the attack. To flesh out the transition and flesh out Theon's feelings on his change of loyalties, Brian Cogman included a scene of Theon writing a letter to Robb only to burn it afterwards, and the ritual baptism on the shores of Pike. Cogman noted that, while these scenes have nearly no dialogue, they are the ones he's most proud of in this episode. Another scene created for the show was a dinner between Cersei and the children. The scene was included to remind the audience who Myrcella was, since her potential marriages were discussed in the episode. Amy Richardson, the actor playing Myrcella, who has appeared in many past episodes as a background character, sent a note to Cogman thanking him for her lines in this scene. The final scene also had to be redesigned in relation to the books, due to the constraints imposed by the location, schedule, and the time restrictions for the child actors. Cogman's first draft was more similar to the books, with Arya, Gendry, Lommy, and Hot Pie first fleeing and then being captured, but finally it was decided to combine both scenes. Cogman was also dismayed that he had to cut one of his favorite scenes in the books, Arya and Hot Pie charging while shouting the battle cries, "Winterfell!" and "Hot Pie!" In the audio commentary for this episode, included on the DVD and Blu-ray editions of Season 2, Cogman revealed that his initial script is over 3 hours long and had to be cut significantly. For example, Cogman mentioned that before the cuts, he had included a long, drawn-out fight scene between Jon and Craster, which was changed at the suggestion of director Alec Shakarov to a shot of Craster dragging Jon back to his keep. Cogman revealed that scenes between Tyrion and Pycelle, Varys, Littlefinger, and Cersei were among his favorites. Now let's move on to casting. This episode marks the first appearance of 2 new characters. Lady Margaery Tyrell, the new Queen of Renly Baratheon and sister of his lover Loras Tyrell, and Brienne of Tarth, a member of Renly's Guard. Natalie Dormer was cast as Margaery. Her character was aged in relation to the book's counterpart. Dormer was 29 during the filming of Season 2, while the Margaery from the books was 15, and her role was significantly expanded from a background, tough and ported character in the novels to a main character in the show. Dormer was also added to the series' main cast. Margaery is the youngest member of the Tyrell family in the novels, but as Dormer is 6 years older than Finn Jones, who plays Loras, Margaery is older than Loras in the show. For the role of Brienne, the producers chose the English actress Gwendoline Christie. According to the character's creator George R. R. Martin, when he saw the first batch of auditions, he saw a dozen actresses who were reading for Brienne and 1 actress who was Brienne, as it was one of the cases when there wasn't any debate. Due to her outstanding height, 6 feet 3 inches, she was earmarked early on by fans of the books as a good fit for the character, and one of them even emailed her agent. Christie already knew about the role and felt that she could relate to the character after having been bullied for her height and androgynous looks. After deciding to go all out for it, she read the books, started building up with cardiovascular exercises and kickboxing practices, and even started to wear unisex clothing in order to increase her own masculinity. After she had been cast, she continued to train and received extensive sword fighting and horse riding lessons. Her last step of the process of transformation was cutting off her long hair, which she found deeply upsetting because she felt it was her last bond to her old self. The day after her hair was cut off, she went to her hotel room and cried. Ugh. And finally, the filming locations. To reproduce Renly's camp, the production built a set at Larry Bain Chalk Quarry beside Chico Red. On September 12th, 2011, while filming was taking place in Renly's camp, the high winds caused by Hurricane Kaida destroyed a steel frame marquee and 5 extras received minor injuries. Furthermore, the extreme weather conditions made some of the footage unusable, and they had to rebuild the set in October to reshoot some scenes. Among the scenes that had to be repeated there was a duel between Brienne and Loras and Catelyn's arrival. In the audio commentary for the episode, Ryan Cogman revealed that only 200 extras were used in scenes in Renly's camp, though there appeared to be many more. Huh. Interesting. So overall, this episode is very darn good, and the fact that it introduces Margaery and Brienne it's pretty awesome. They're 2 of the best female characters on the show, hands down. So overall, I give What Is Dead May Never Die 4 Iron Thrones out of 5. Well, tune in next week as we take a look at Garden of Bones. So, until then, remember everyone, winter is coming.